What up, dogs? I'm coming at you with a Crooked Stave can. I think one of the first batches of cans. I didn't even know about this when they were shipped out here, and I'm very excited about it. They're also a fraction of the price of the bottles. So the bottles, I'm pretty sure all the bottles were bottle conditioned, naturally carbonated in the bottle. So a little bit more ageability and complexity, perhaps, in the bottled versions. But the cans, the fact that we're getting them, pretty fresh, the bottles really get out here very fresh, and they're so cheap. The cost price is less than $2 for these cans. Just to let you know, that's cheaper than per ounce than just about every New England style IPA out. And right now I have their St. Bretta Citrus Saison, and I've had the I think the winter version of St. Bretta before that was like a kind of darker Saison with blood orange. And they have different seasons for all the St. Brettas and then other different fruit variants. This doesn't say anything about a season anywhere. It just says Citrus Saison brewed with citrus, lemongrass, and coriander. So I don't know which citrus it is or season. I assume this one's going to be a pale one. Unlike the St. Bretta I had, there was a winter one. It's what is it? What the hell does it say? I think it's 5-something%. Oh yeah, 5.2%. And features their Bretta blend of yeast that is the signature of Hill Farmstead. And I'm excited to try this one. And I have chocolate on my hand. So this was canned in August 24th. Right now it's November 6th. So for Bretta beer, quite fresh. And they still carbonated them quite a bit, but I'm pretty sure it's not naturally carbonated. They just say we package each can with a small amount of yeast to maintain maximum freshness. They don't say it's can conditioned, that there's a secondary fermentation inside here that made the carbonation. I'm pretty sure it's force carbed, though it looks really very good, almost like some bottle conditioned beers. And I had the Hop Savant, the Bretta IPA, out of cans, and just loved it because I'd never had that beer so fresh before. And this will probably be extra citrusy. We'll see what the funk level is like. I'm just gonna pour the rest because the head is beautiful. It's pretty hazy, lots of carbonation. I'm really big on the orange. The lemongrass in the aroma is kind of subtle. Coriander is there too. Not very funky. Seems like it's going to be barely tart. Light hay notes. The Saison yeast is pretty muted. There's a little bit of pear skin, but the citrus quality is very much in the fore. And it smells a lot like a Belgian white beer, actually, or witch beer. The orange peel coriander wheat beers that don't have Bretta in them usually, but it smells like kind of the slightly funkier ones, but I'm not getting barnyard or anything from this one. Really bright. Tarter than I expected. Refreshing. It actually, the first sip reminds me of the Wittekerke Wild, which is wild yeast sour version of their Belgian white ale. And this is like that, but much more refined. Yeah, it has the effect of drinking one of those Pellegrino blood orange or lemon seltzers. That's what the flavor is happening. It's spritzy, really big on the citrus. There's a lingering orange tang, I just drank some tang flavor. And it has some body to it and sweetness, but it finishes peppery, quite dry on the tongue. My tongue's dried up somehow, even though it's not that sour. And there's a little, maybe just a touch of acetic acid in there, along with some acids from the fruits. It's, I don't know what if there's anything like lactic happening with this beer, probably, but it's not. Doesn't taste like a fruited Berliner Weisse or like a Belgian wheat mixed with a Berliner Weisse or brewed with some lactobacillus in it. Pretty different from that sort of thing. The dry Saison spiciness and phenolic character is keeping it out of the realm of the generic sort of fruited sour descriptor. I think calling this like a fruited like Belgian wheat Saison kind of hybrid is the closest thing, and they do call it citrus Saison, but the Saison notes are more on the spicy end. The phenolics aren't quite medicinal, and it definitely doesn't have a big like banana quality that a lot of American Saisons. I feel like they have a lot of banana notes, and then they have lots of American hops, and they're too sharp. This one is not too sharp. The esters and the phenols from the yeast are dialed in. It finishes just like a minerally crisp mandarin orange, Meyer lemony type thing. There's a touch of Brett complexity in the nose now. Still not quite barnyard, and like in their red IPA, it doesn't have that chalky, bitter aspirin, pill type thing going on. Maybe just a hint of that in the aroma, but then it doesn't carry through into the flavor. The finish is doesn't have a bitter, like a chewing on a pill sort of thing. It's more just crisp, minerally, spicy, somewhat herbal, coriander, and then tang. There's some kind of funk in the nose, but it's not your big barnyard funk. It's maybe a very, very light hay. But this is really refreshing, and it's if you want something, basically between a Saison and a Belgian wheat, this is really the way to go. And you want it to have a little more complexity, tartness. Really very well done beer. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. And for keeping up the quality in the cans, I commend Crooked Stave so much, and just for doing this. I hope this is like a semi-regular thing. I'm sure these will sell so much better than the bottles, because the bottles, we often get them at the store when they're a year old, and then they sit on the shelf for several months because for some reason Crooked Stave is not really a sexy brand around here, and the bottles are kind of expensive. But hopefully this gets people more into Crooked Stave and having like a brewery that has great control of their Brettanomyces yeast and isn't all just about making super fruity, super sour beers. I love the controlled complexity of Brettanomyces. That's like my favorite thing, besides all the sexy, juicy IPAs. And this does have a juicy element to it. I say tropical on there. The Brett yeast is bringing some tropical qualities a little bit, but the citrus is overwhelming. It's like maybe there's a touch of mango, but just so much orange juice. It's like a drop of mango and a cup of orange juice. Yeah, I'll give it, at least a 4. It is like an easier drinking beer. It's not something that's blowing my mind, but it is a unique beer and done extremely well. So at least I'd probably 85. Something like that is what it's worthy of being rated. But I'm sure if you buy a bottle of this and age it several years, it would get really interesting. Lots of complex Brett funk would develop and then reside, and This one is not that sort of thing. At least the can vessel, I assume. Is it meant to be aged forever? All right, that's enough.